In my very first year reselling products on Amazon, I was able to take home over 6 figures in profit. And I'm talking profit, not revenue. Revenue-wise, I did over 7 figures my first year. Profit-wise, I took home over 100K. Now, what I want to do in this video is show you a path to 100K in profit based on numbers and daily activities that you should be doing on a daily basis to get there. But before I jump into that, let me just be real with you for a second. If you're starting Amazon, your goal shouldn't be to make 100K your first year. I was able to do it, but I didn't have other obligations. It was in my early 20s. I had nothing else to do. I was doing school, and this is literally what I spent all day long doing. So I was able to get to 100K extremely fast. Most people, I'm sure most that watch my videos, probably have other obligations. You might have a family, you might have a full-time job or other things that you have to spend time on. So your goal really shouldn't be to go out there and profit 6 figures. You shouldn't go profit a doctor's salary your first year. Your goal should be to build this business up correctly with whatever capital you have access to, so you can eventually get to a point that you can make 100K profit and plus, and you can turn this into your full-time thing. It doesn't have to be next month that you're already on pace to do 100K for the year. And you really shouldn't expect that to be the case. So let me just get that out of the way here, because what we're going to do is jump into a calculator. I'm going to show you like how long it'll take, how to compound your money with depending on how much money you're starting with, and all the different factors that go into it. And again, let me just be very clear. Your goal should not be 100K your first year. Your goal should be build the systems and start the business and maybe make 30K, 40K, 50K your first year, because once you're there, you understand everything to do with the business. You have the correct systems in place, and you can easily scale. Like I'm going to show you what we're going to do in this video. So simple path to 100K. Now, let's do some math here and break this down fully. So if your profit goals are 100K a year, this is about $275 a day that you need to be profiting every single day, Monday through Sunday, 7 days a week. This is what the numbers look like. So this is about $333,000 worth of spend, right? This is if you're buying items at a 30% return on investment. Now, if you know anything about Amazon, you know that 30% ROI is pretty average. Ideally, you want to shoot for even more. We're going to use very average numbers here today. So if you can purchase inventory at about a 30% return, that's about $333,000 you have to spend over the course of a year. Now, you don't need to have access to this money. Okay, you're not spending $333K all at once. It's going to be progressively. You're going to spend it, get it back with more on top, spend more, get it back on top. This is $333,000 cumulative over the whole year of spend. So don't let that scare you. I know it's a lot of money, but you don't need to start with that. When we look at the calculator, you're going to see exactly what those numbers actually look like. Now, this is about $912 a day worth of spend. Right, this is why I like to break it down on a daily basis, because it's a lot easier to attain this. Now, in the beginning, spending 912 a day is very hard. This is why I'm not saying to shoot for 100K your first year. Okay, maybe that number should be $300 a day. And in that case, you're spending, you're finding about 1 item a day. Okay, and I'm going to show you how we find items here too, and how you can actually do this on a daily basis to help you hit this. But please know you want to be doing this every single day, or at least 4 times a day, or 4 times a week if you want this to work out. So this is what the math breakdown looks like. So let's actually open up a calculator here. And what we're going to do is just look at, if we start with X and we profit about 30%, which is what we're going to use on average, how long will it take us to get to a point where we are actually profiting on pace to hit 6 figures? Okay, so let's first use an example. Let's actually use $5,000 as our example. Okay, so if we start with $5,000 and we're buying products at a 30% ROI, on average, okay, and this, again, typically on average, you could probably turn your inventory and your cash 6 times a year. On the low end, probably even more. So this is, again, very conservative average numbers here, right? We're buying inventory expecting within 2 months, we're going to get that inventory sold and cash back in our account to go back out for more inventory. And this is granting and banking on the fact that you are reinvesting your profits as you grow up. So you're not really pulling money out. You can pull money out, just don't expect it to compound as quick as this. So month 1, which is 0 here, we have 5K we spent on inventory. Once that stuff sells through, let's just say it's been 2 months. And again, this is very high. You could probably blow through this even quicker, but if 2 months it sells through, you have it $6,500 back. So far you profited $1,500, and that month you made $1,500. But now you're reinvesting that $6,500 again. That following month, you're getting back $8,450. This is now month 4. We've gone through 2 cycles, and up to this date, you've gone ahead and profited just under $3,500. Okay, this is that's month 4. So this has been 2 inventory turns. So let's actually grab my calculator for a second here. If we need to make 100K, that means that we need to be, making about $8,333 every single month to get 100K. So this is what's going to take for us to get on track to be doing 100K profit. So if we look at the numbers here, it looks like when we get to month 16, between month 14 and 16, this is right around when we will probably get on track to be hitting six figures. And at that point is when you no longer need to be reinvesting your inventory, reinvesting your profits into inventory, but now you're going to start paying yourself and you're actually going to take that money home. So you still need to leave that cash inside the business to keep turning, right? So we need to be spending right around about, let's say, $35,000 on inventory, just like we said earlier, right? We need to be starting with right around $33,000 a month. And if we're able to do that, then we're going to make that about $8,000 in profit a month. So if we start with $5,000, we reinvest all our money by about month 15. So about a year and a half in, about a year and 2 months in, we are going to be at six-figure profit time. So about 2 years if we start with 5K and reinvest. Now, ideally, what you should be doing here is leveraging business credit, getting access to more money, because this is just starting with 5K and letting it compound. It's obviously going to take longer. Now, if we were to start with $10,000 with inventory, well, then we're going to be hitting that much quicker. Looks like right around month 10, we'd be able to get, or right around month 8, we'll be able to be on track to be hitting about six figures a year. And at that point, you leave this money in and you let it cash flow. You're no longer reinvesting. Your sales aren't going to grow. You're going to continue to do right around that 60, 70K worth of revenue a month. And this is going to be putting you on track to be doing six figures in profit a month. This is how long it's going to take if you allow your money to compound. But ideally, what you want to be doing is taking out business credit, using other people's money, get 0% interest credit cards. At this point, by the time you get to month 6, and let's go back to 5K because this is probably more so what people are working with. By the time you get to like month 6, you have the systems in place. You have so many products that you can buy, and you're only spending 10K for inventory that month. You could have, you would love to have access to 30K because you have products to buy. This is when you'd want to go out and leverage business credit and then, get 0% interest credit cards, use that money to get to about 30K spend within, that same month. So you're still spending that money in month 6, but now you're still on track to be doing that $8,000 worth of profit, which is getting you online to be making right around $100,000 a year. Okay, and again, this is just if you're looking to not use cash and get to 100K. But again, your first year really shouldn't be your goal to making 100K. If we're able to just use 5K over the course of a year, very conservatively, we can go ahead and profit ourselves $20,000. If we compound our money, by that point, we'd be at a point where we profited 20K. We would now have about 25K in the business. So we start with 5K. A year later, we have 25K worth of cash. Now, you have to keep reinvesting it if you want to keep making that money and letting it keep growing. If you just stop all of a sudden, then you're not going to be making that money anymore. You can take that money out and run with it, but you're not making any more money. So what I'm trying to get at here is this business, any Amazon business, people don't show you these numbers because they're scared they're going to scare you off. My goal here is to scare you off, right? This business isn't for everybody. My goal here is to show you the realistic realms and what it actually looks like when you're running a successful Amazon business. This is very capital intensive. This takes time to play out, and this isn't for everyone, but every single business is like this. Whether you do OA, online arbitrage, whether you're doing wholesale, whether you're doing brand direct, whether you're doing private label, whether you're doing drop shipping, eventually you pivot yourself over and you want to build your own products. Like, you always have to have cash in the business. Otherwise, you don't have a business. When it comes to products, when it comes to e-commerce products, this is what it looks like. Okay, so yeah, it's going to take some time to compound to about 100K, but your goal shouldn't be 100K. Okay, start with 5K, buy average products. You're going to profit yourself right around $25,000 your first year. And honestly, you could probably do even more. This is with very slow turn. This is a 2-month turn. You could probably turn it within a month and a half on average, even quicker. So at that point, you're probably looking at about 35K profit from 5K in a year, right? So what do you need to do? Let's keep working down the chain here. So that $5,000 you're spending month 1 is the hardest part about Amazon. Like, the hardest part about Amazon is this very first $5,000 that you're spending on inventory, because you have to first find the $5,000 worth. Now, this gets progressively easier going into month 3, month 6, because this 5K is used on test products. The remainder in that money that you've gone ahead and made and now you're reinvesting can be used for replanning. So you've already sold through the products, they're profitable, and you can buy 100 units instead of only buying 20 units, right? At this point, you're also probably tracking your products. If you watch my videos, you should be tracking your products. And now you're getting re-alerted for old products that are profitable again. You maybe have a virtual assistant that's sending you products, and spending money becomes very, very, very easy. But that first 5K is definitely the hardest part. So I want to show you how we can go ahead and spend 5K, which is about $166 a day. I want to show you how I would source if I was brand new to find about one product a day, right? This is about one product. You can place a test order, 10 units, and this will take you to your first 5K worth of spend, which will then allow you to start kickstarting your business and compounding and reinvesting and making more money in the long term. Now I want to show you an example here. My student Tyler, we started back in, I think, October. He was at like 5K revenue. He's now doing 55K. And what he did was the same thing. He kept reinvesting his profits, but he also started to leverage business credit. He got an Amex Plum, Amex Business. I think he got a Blue, but I know he had a Plum. And he used business credit once he understood the business, knew how to source, use that to then really scale up. And now he's producing 6 figures worth of profit a year from about $55,000 worth of revenue. So he's just gone absolutely scaled. And again, it's only been about 5 months. So what he did was actually shortcut this. He was right around here, and then he learned the business, compounded a couple times, and then he began to get business credit and then quickly scale up to a point where he's now spending right around 25K worth of product, which is leading into about 55, 60K worth of revenue a month. So just an insane progress here. He's also worked extremely hard doing this stuff daily, buying inventory daily, and using sourcing methods that we go over. One of them being this one I'm going to show you right here, which is the reverse sourcing method, which is the easiest way to source if you're brand new, right? You need one product like this a day, and you're able to go out there and build a successful business. Now, here's how you're going to want to source. You are going to want to go to a product on Amazon that's arbitrageable. Okay, here's an example. You can use this if you want to. You're going to use a product like this, and you're going to look at some smaller sellers on this listing. For example, this seller right here with 6 reviews. This might be a little bit too large of a seller. You got 7 reviews, 93 reviews, right? We open them up, and we're pretty much trying to see what else these sellers are selling, right? If they're selling this product, which is an arbitrage product, then that means they have other arbitrage products. Looks like they have this brand Boiron, Eucerin, Adidas, Nike, right? So this seller might be a little bit more experienced here. They're selling these bigger brands that are kind of gated nowadays. So when I see brands like this, especially if you're a new seller that's not able to sell those, I probably would just move on from that seller and find someone else. Maybe find someone with less reviews like this one right here with 52. We can click into it and see, okay, again, they got a lot of Nike and Adidas here, so probably don't want to see that either. I'm just doing this completely raw here, so I didn't look at any of these sellers. I have no idea what they're selling here, but here's another one right here. Again, some Adidas here, but ideally you go through these, right? We're looking at different indicators like how is this chart looking? Are we stable? Are we tanking? This one has dropped a little bit, but not too much. It looks like it went from 20 to about 16. So like maybe this could work. Probably not though for this crazy cheap price, but either way, we can do a quick search and just see what it's going for. And yeah, it looks like it's about $10 there. And this definitely is not going to be profitable today, but at about $20 when it was at about 20, even then it wasn't the most profitable. Now Carter's usually has discounts. You probably get about a 20% discount. So with that code, it would be profitable. What I would do on this product here was this would be an item that I would put into my tracker, and just I want to be re-alerted for it when the offers are falling some more, or when this item has now gone up to about $18, because around there I might consider looking into buying it at that point. All right, so I want to be getting alerted for these. So this product, even though it's not good today, it can definitely be a good one soon, and you always want to be doing this as you're sourcing. Now, let's jump through a couple of these. I want to find something here that we could potentially look at. And what I'm looking at here is just a chart to see what's stable and what's not. Looks like this benefit product is somewhat stable. So we can click into this real quick. And it looks like Macy's might have it for about $13, which if this is the same size, this could potentially be close to working. Looks like it is 4.5, 4.5 natural. This is cool light brown. This is the natural deep brown. So color is a little bit different. We need the natural deep, that one right there, which is still actually discounted to about $13.60. So at $13.60, we're not so profitable, but potentially we stack some coupons here. And also I would want to check Card Bear and see if Macy's has anything here. Looks like they have 12% discounted gift cards. So this item right now would be right around $11.97 and maybe additional discounts. So this would be very close. Today it's not the best, but yeah, again, something I'd probably track because it's very close. These items that are very close, I want to be tracking here. And this is going to make your life very easy as you kind of progress and get into further parts of your business here. But yeah, I mean, like there's products all over the place. These are all clearly arbitrage products that we'd want to be looking into here. Here's another one of this road product here. This is a 4-pack. I believe I found this one in the past on a previous video, but again, not so good today. We keep going through. It's a lot of beauty here, which I really don't like looking into, just because a lot of regates, hard gates, and it's hard for newer sellers to sell these. So I really wouldn't be looking into these too much if you're a new seller. Instead, what I'd be doing is kind of sifting through some of these sellers that might have products that aren't in the beauty niche, maybe like outdoors or something like that, right? Like some Trader Joe's, here's some Eddie Bauer, grocery, right? This will probably be one I'd look into, and we can navigate through this pretty easily by hitting grocery gourmet. And again, same thing, just trying to find something here that's stable, right? Like this one's kind of dropped a bit, kind of peaked back up. Maybe want to do a search here. And again, this looks very expensive here. You know, their website, don't really see much here. Walmart's got it, maybe $6.99 right here on Thrive, potentially, if that's the same size. There's a 4-pack. There's a 12-pack, so it's not the same, right? You notice how I'm like quickly moving on from these. That's one big takeaway you can take from me is you want to be quick to move on through products. You don't want to sit here digging forever. It should be kind of coming to you right away if it's profitable or not. So let's see, what is this? This is a dark chocolate covered espresso beans. Let's see, like Trader Joe's might have it for $9.49, which would not be profitable there. So ideally, we're sifting through this, and you do this every single day, and you start coming across profit. And as you come across these, again, you're just placing small test orders. So this one right here looks like you can buy this for $10.99, English toffee with nuts from Trader Joe's, English toffee with nuts, and this is about $10.99 from Trader Joe's, which would put us right at that threshold we're looking for. Also, if we open up the listing, it looks like it's a pretty stable product. So yeah, we got about $10.99 here from this, and $4.59, 40%. If we look at the chart, very, very, very stable. Offer count gradually coming down, selling about 300 a month. Like, so this would be an example of an item that we could easily go out there and buy about 20 units. And at this point, we'd be spending $10.99. Oh, see my calculator. $10.99 times 20, about $220. So this alone would be enough to cover our expense and our one product that we're looking for, right? Like this already hits that goal. So you can do this every single day. You find one product like this every single day. You order it, you get it sent into Amazon, and that's how you really kickstart your store. And this is gonna get you to your first 5K worth of spend. Okay, this is the goal, because once we can get here, we can then just begin to compound that money. And again, once you get the proof of concept, we plug in some additional business credit, scale the crap out of the store, and yeah, then you're making 6 figures profit. That's essentially what Amazon looks like in the arbitrage way. And as you build this business long term, you have more products you're buying, you're tracking products, you have a VA that comes on board and helps you, right? Some more things that you implement. You get a repricer like Aura that comes in and prices your products for you. You get that completely taken care of. You get Seller Board. This is what you use to manage your inventory, make sure that you're staying in stock, make sure that you are ordering products that are the most profitable for you once you sell through. And then also you get a virtual assistant, right? You go to Online Jobs PH, you throw up an application, you vet them out, you give them tasks to do, you bring on a good VA, they come on, and then now you're getting constantly fed leads, right? Here's my VA's list. In a video previously, I showed you like literally 8 products that he sent me. You can see like the examples of them. And this is ideally what you want to get to, because now every single day I can come in here and easily hit my spend goals because I have all these products to go ahead and choose from that I can eventually and potentially go ahead and sell, right? So ideally you set these things up as you kind of go, maybe month 3, month 4, and then you run your business, and it's very easy to spend money, right? Spending the money should be easy. It's hard in the beginning, but as you progress, this gets to be the easiest part of the business as long as you implement the systems correctly. Now, you saw my student Tyler here absolutely crushing it. If you would like your handheld, if you would like to jump on calls with me all the time and source products together, find inventory. I mean, ideally what I do with my students, especially when they're brand new, is we jump on a sourcing call. We find products that they're not only, they have to be approved for. So we find auto-approved products. We get them about 200 units in that first batch, start working through some sales, because as they get some sales, they're then able to get approval in a lot more products, and they're able to build out their store because Amazon wants to verify that you're a legit seller. So that's what we do with new students. They come on, we source, we find a bunch of auto ungate products, we get them order for them, and then they get pretty much kickstarted their store. They're making money on them, getting going with that, and then come month 2, month 3, they're able to buy inventory that's now approved for them, and they can start selling their store much easier. And that's when it gets really easy to spend all that money. Yeah, if you'd like some personalized one-to-one help, again, that's what my coaching's for. I do one-to-one with all my students. Just like Tyler here, was able to scale from 5,000 to 55K within under 5 months, which is just insane. Again, he just worked extremely hard, and he committed to the whole process from day one. So if that's something like you, if you are also very committed to this, you've been trying to make Amazon work for a while, but you're still struggling, you like your handheld, then that's what my coaching is for. I also make videos like this every single week on my YouTube, and I also post daily on my Instagram. So if you'd like any additional support or have any questions, shoot me a DM on there. And speaking on my V, if you haven't seen this video, I think you'd really enjoy this one right here that goes over all the products that my virtual assistant was able to send me in one of my days.